Test. Can you hear me good? Or good enough? Here we go.
Don't say any F's and stuff.
Let's go!
There is no investigation. This boy has...
There is not, really? This to me.
Don't say any F's and stuff.
There is no investigation. This boy
There
has...
is not, really? This to me.
Don't say any F's and stuff.
But I have to put her on the side and worry about
I'm gonna do what I gotta do for me and my boys and my kids.
Don't say any F's and stuff.
There is no investigation. This boy
There is
has...
not, really? This to me. Right.
It's Peyton's fault. I promise you, it's his fault. It's not mine.
It's hard, you know. That's real tough.
Just kidding. Good to see you. Good to be
but
here.
I have to put her on the side and worry about the boys.
I'm gonna do what I gotta do for me and my boys.
It's his
and my
fault. It's not
kids.
my fault. All right,
Don't
it's
say
my
any F's
fault.
and stuff.
Live from the NBD Production Studios, you're in the lab with your host, Joshua Diaz.
There is no
That's
investigation.
me.
This boy has...
There is not, really?
Yeah, Justin, I switched over a while back. It was. I can't remember how long ago it was, but yeah, yeah,
On the
absolutely.
side and worry about
Yeah.
But I have to
Wow. Got a
There
good
is
one
no
for you.
investigation.
Don't say any F's
Got a
and stuff.
great one for you. Good one, great one. Yeah. You be the judge.
But I have to put her. But I have to put her on the side.
Welcome to
and
the
worry about
lab.
the boys.
I'm your host, Joshua Diaz, and it is Monday, January 30th, 7:09 here on the West Coast. Good to see you. Good to be here. As always, I'm doing, I am feeling better. There's major lingering effects. It is, I'll help you out, Justin. No problem, man. The lingering effects, it's like I probably have a sinus infection of some kind. I don't know. So I'll probably have to get some antibiotics for that. But other than that, what can you do? Is what it is. It is what it is, and that's just how it is. Can I smell? Yeah, I could smell. Try again. Yep. I can smell. And I can taste. I can taste this black iced coffee. It tastes delicious as always. And is it damp and rainy? It's always damp and rainy here. Is anyone else's screen black? No. I can smell, I can taste. Get checked, just an infection won't go away on their own. It might. I don't know. I'll give it a day or so. Hello, Carol. Good to see you guys. I got some interesting stuff for you tonight. It is absolutely interesting, baffling. The list goes on and on and on, and I have obtained some audio that I'm gonna play for the world. Well, I say the world, whoever watches the show, and so do you still feel tired after COVID? Yeah, I feel tired. I don't know. I feel all kinds of stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I do. I'm sure I have a sinus infection, but yeah. What are you gonna do? It is the best group here, Brand. Let's go. Brandon's in the house. Good to see you. Good to see you. Man. So, we've been back on the Summer Wells case. I don't think we ever left. So probably a handful of channels. The one that, we've never stopped. We won't stop. And at some point, I'm just trying to prove a point. I'm trying to prove a point here. And the point being that Don and Candus, despite what they say, haven't looked, don't look, won't look, whatever. However you want to slice the cake, don't look, can't look, won't look, don't want to look, don't care to look. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I want to prove a point. And I find myself increasingly more agitated with the Wells, with the Summer Wells situation. It increasingly bothers me. I was up at, I would say about 3:30 in the morning last night, just thinking and how to present what we're going to talk about. And the problem for me is, I've dedicated a good amount of time to covering this story, and it's an awful story, and it's a sad story, and it's heartbreaking. And it just gets on your last nerve. Just the lies and the whatever you want to call it. But I got a couple pieces of audio that I want to play. I want you to hear. And it, I don't know. We can discuss it. We can discuss it all. Let me just, I'm going to play this real quick. So in this clip, Candus claims that the reason that they cannot look for Summer is because of YouTubers like me, and like other YouTubers. That is the claim. Once again, 18 months later, Candus has the balls to say that, hey, we can't even process this to deal with it. And by the way, Don or Candus, if you're watching this, please feel free to call in or, whatever. If you're in the chat, everybody be nice, but if you're out there watching, we can have a conversation. But I do find this piece of audio troubling, and I'm going to play it a few times and we'll break it down. I'll play it through first full, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so here we go.
They cannot stand YouTube people because they've been making a mockery of this case so bad that we can't even come to terms with any even trying to find something.
Well, from people calling TBI and then having them break in our door, nobody knows about this. But they come in here, for the 11th time, kicked our door in, tore our safe off the floor, turned everything upside down for about the 11th time because somebody told them we had Summer in the safe. But nobody knows about that.
Well, they do now. I said on the show yesterday that Don claims that TBI kicked his door in while he was in jail. Candus wasn't there, that they had a search warrant to go into the house and look for Summer because somebody called TBI and said that, quote unquote, that Summer was in the safe while he was in jail. Now, let me play this again. And at the very beginning is where Candus says that they can't even process because of YouTubers. TBI, and this is probably true, can't stand YouTubers. I would agree that, that it is a pain and dealing with, tips that are unfounded and all those things. I agree. I don't disagree. I am positive that TBI doesn't like YouTubers. But I bet they kind of do too. And I bet they watch a lot too, So, yeah, it wouldn't have been hard to tear the house upside down. All right. Listen again at the very beginning.
They cannot stand YouTube people because they've been making a mockery of this case so bad.
That we've been making a mockery of this case so bad. Making a mockery of this case so bad.
That we can't even come to terms with any even trying to find something.
That we can't even come to terms or even find Summer. Yeah, she kind of just jumps around there. They can't come to terms with what? What is it that you can't come to terms with? What are the terms that you can't handle? Okay? Then Don claims that TBI kicked his door in.
Well, from people calling TBI and then having them break in our door, nobody knows about this, but they come in here, you know,
Well, they certainly do now.
for the 11th time, kicked our door in, tore our safe off the floor, turned everything upside down for about the 11th time because somebody told them we had summer in the safe. But nobody knows about that.
You know, so because somebody called and said that they had summer in the safe. Now, let me be clear on this. I don't believe that if somebody calls TBI and says, hey, I believe that Summer Wells is in the safe at the Wells house, I don't know if that's going to be enough to get a search warrant to kick a door in. And I don't think that really would be the case. You know, I just don't. I don't think that's enough. Now, do I think that they did? Well, let's listen a little bit more to Don.
Jail. I don't know. Candus had to leave here because things were getting so bad, and I was in jail. They come to the jail talking to me, and said they had a search warrant asking me, and then they was asking me if I had any guns and all this and that stuff. I actually had about 5.
I just cut that off because I'll save that for another day. So, you know, interesting. They came to the jail with a search warrant. Did they? Well, that is interesting. That is interesting. She wasn't talking like she had a stroke. Did you notice that? Oh, you mean this?
I've had
They cannot stand YouTube people because they've been making a mockery of this case so bad.
Sounds perfectly fine to me.
That we can't even come to terms with it, even trying to find something.
Can't even come to terms. No, he didn't say that he had guns in his basement. Yes, this is very recent. This is very recent. And I'm not going to say when or where, but just trust me that it's very recent. I said yesterday that Don claimed that TBI kicked his door in while he was in jail and was searching for Summer in their safe. Now, do I believe that story? Not necessarily, but I do hope that they did kick their door in because that would mean that they're still working the case. That would mean that they're still working the case. And maybe silently doing things like this. You know, this recording is just from a couple weeks ago. These recordings are. So, you know, I don't know why he says that. I don't know if it actually happened. I have no proof that it happened other than I'm just listening to Don and Candus. But the problem is not what they say about that, but Candus's straight up refusal to look for her missing child because of YouTubers. She cannot look for Summer or come to terms with looking for Summer because of people like me. because of people like me.
Well, from people calling TBI and having them break in our door, nobody knows about this.
Oh, yes, they do now.
But they come in here, you know, for the 11th time, kicked our door in, tore our safe off the floor, turned everything upside down for about the 11th time because somebody told them we had summer in the safe. But nobody knows about that.
Yeah, nobody does. Let's hear it again, Candus.
I've had
They cannot stand YouTube people because they've been making a mockery of this case so bad.
We've been making a mockery of this case so bad. So bad, guys. You understand, right? That it's our fault. It's our fault. Yeah, Don says that that they have kicked his door in 11 times, which is a lot of times, which, that's awesome. I hope that they've kicked this door in 150 times. I don't care how many times they kick their door in. Kick the door in. Kick the door in. Please. I'm begging you. Kick it. Kick it in.
We can't even come to terms with it, even trying to find something.
They can't even come to terms, blah, blah, inaudible, to try and even find Summer. 18, 19 months later. 18 or 19 months later. And here we are. Here we are again with a second surge of this stuff. Now tell me, Wells defenders, tell me, and by the way, I do want to say this. If you don't think that Don and Candus had anything to do with this case, I will, with Summer, for whatever reason, presumed innocent until guilty or, proven guilty. And this isn't a court of law. I've said it before. This is the court of public opinion. My opinion is that they are somehow, some way involved. But I don't hold it against people if that's how they feel. What I will hold against somebody is saying that they care. That's what I hold. That's what I'm gonna. That's where I have a problem. Now, maybe they do care, but what public display have they shown for this? What actions have they displayed? I don't know. I haven't heard any. I haven't seen any. I've seen nothing. People can say, well, I think that they're innocent until proven guilty. Yes, that is a fact. That's the truth. But they haven't done anything. Have they? I mean, Don's complaining that his door's getting kicked in by whoever for search warrants and so on and so forth. And Candus says basically, hey, man, we can't even process this because of YouTubers. Or as what's his name? Tim Mullins says, YouTubians. You guys remember the YouTubians? We are the YouTubians. Whoa, get off my property. We are the YouTubians. And take me to your leader.
I don't know. Candus had to leave here because things were getting so bad, and I was in jail. They come to the jail talking to me, and said they had a search warrant, asking, and then they was asking me if I had any guns and all this and that stuff. I actually had about 5.
He didn't say gun. No, I didn't cut that off soon enough. I don't know what he had in there. I think it was like cheesecake or something. He had like 5 pieces of cheese. But does anybody remember the whole YouTubian things? All right. Now, if and this is just me thinking out loud. If I'm in a court of law, all right, and you present this to a judge, and they say, "Judge, our daughter has been missing." Hold on. Well, let's do it this way. With I'll do Don's voice here. Okay, you ready? Hey, Judge, we're really having a hard time looking for our daughter. And then Ken's go, because we can't look for our daughter because they've made a mockery of this case. We can't even come to terms with looking for our daughter. Shut up, Candus. Shut up. I'm dealing with this. No, Donnie. No.
I've had
They cannot stand YouTube people because they've been making a mockery of this case so bad that we can't even come to terms with even trying to find something.
Yeah. I can't even come to terms to try. Not even a try. We can't even try. Oh my God, we can't even try. Yeah, well, you should try. Give it a try. It would be cool if you tried. But, why? There's no reason for you to look. Don, Candus, if you're listening, give a call. Let's talk. I'll open the phone lines. Come on. I am so curious about what you mean by this. And look, if I can somehow create a detente where we stop talking about summer long enough for you to search, I'll do everything in my power to see if I could convince others to do the same. We'll back off if you look, but if you don't look, I'm not backing off. And I got a bunch more audio that that I'll just slowly drip out, and because each little segment of it is more damning than the next. So if you decide to look for summer, I will back off. I will leave you alone. I will, so on and so forth. I promise. I have no problem doing that. But if, please give me a call. Let's talk. Because I'm confused as to have you looked? Are you looking? I will do everything in my power to get people to back off. I promise you. I'll do that. If you look for summer. But if you don't, then why do we have to back off? Somebody's got to talk about summer. Somebody's got to do something. And I pray to God that TBI and Hawkins County and everybody else is still actively working this case. I in my heart believe that they are. I hope that they are. I don't want to believe that we live in a world where law enforcement would give up after 18 months of looking for a precious 5-year-old child. And I don't know, because they won't even, they'll all we get, and that's fine. Law enforcement owes us nothing, but they owe Summer everything. No, he didn't say he had 5 guns in his safe. He did not say that, trust me. That's not what was said afterwards. Trust, it's not. Because if he did have those and they did kick the door in, he'd be in prison the rest of his life. But no, he didn't have 5 guns in the safe. I don't even know if that story's true. Okay. So, we think about who's going to keep looking. Who's going to talk? Candus, I truly hope that you can come to terms with whatever it is that you have going on, because your daughter's still missing. Your sister's still missing. I don't know if you've came to terms with that and went to look for it. But I tell you what, if my sister was missing or my daughter, and I do have a sister, I don't have a daughter. But if I did, my life would be pretty dedicated to searching for them. God forbid if that ever happened. I would never wish that upon anybody. I don't know. What he said he had in the safe, it wasn't illegal. It was, honestly, it was like, I think it was like, I don't know, 5 flare guns, something. He's allowed to have flare guns. He's got a lot of those. Tons and tons of flare guns.
Well, from people calling TBI and having them breaking our door, nobody knows about this, but they come in here, for the 11th time, kicked our door in, tore our safe off the floor.
I think that the 11th time thing is an arbitrary number, but I don't know. I think he just made that up.
Turned everything upside down for about the 11th time because somebody told him we had summer in the safe. But nobody knows about that.
Which is, 5 golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 crack pipes, 2 something something, and a bunch of free base cocaine. That's what it was. 2 mockingbirds and 3 2 turtle doves and some tweaker crap paraphernalia. I know. I'm making a mockery of this case, guys. I'm really sorry about that. I don't want to, but let me see here. So I'm going to open up the phone here in 1 second, and I'm going to continue to play this audio. All right, cool. Give me 1 second here.
Studio web inter.
Beautiful. All right. Yeah, 2 missing persons and a friggin'. All right, let me throw the number up on the screen, and we'll get to talking. And by the way, I just hope that, the well supporters out there, God bless you. I love you all. 7 alibis. I know, God. I wish everybody well, but I'm telling you that this is Don. The number's up there for you. Give it a call, bud. Candus, Tim Mullen, all you guys. If you want to call, we're just looking for an update. You know what I'm saying? We're just looking for an update. Anybody else can call as well. Please, feel free to call if you have a take, if you want. What is your reaction to this?
They cannot stand YouTube people because they've been making a mockery of this case so bad that we can't even come to terms with even trying to find something.
Well, from people calling TBI and then having them break in our door, nobody knows about this, but they come in here, for the 11th time, kicked our door in, tore our safe off the floor, turned everything upside down for about the 11th time.
Yeah.
Because somebody told them we had summer in the safe. But nobody knows about that.
Nobody knows about it. Nobody knows about it. They thought, they said, hey, Summer's in our safe. What the hell are you talking about? What are you talking about, Don? Please explain. Yeah, you know what, Single Mama 4, why don't you please call in? We can talk about yesterday or whatever, but more than welcome. But Donnie and Candy, I'm sure somebody told you that you're watching. Please. No, they didn't get swatted. Please call in. And if you can just confirm that you're looking for Summer, and then we'll back off. Let me see here. Oh, that's a good question. Let me bring that question up. Jeez, all the way at the bottom. Come on, guys, I'm working here. I got 4 screens. Too many. Mary says, Josh, right before Summer went missing, some of her pics, she looked sick. Did someone mess with those pics? What do you think? I really don't. I don't know. I've wondered that myself. I thought at one time that somebody did, or that they had, or whatever, possibly, because anything is possible, but she didn't. I mean, I don't know. I really hate to speculate. I really do hate to speculate if she was sick in those photos or not. Let's just put it this way. I've seen photos of her where she didn't look great, or very clean for that matter, but she was a little bit younger. And I'm not saying, that I'm not saying anything, sometimes children do look dirty or are dirty because they're playing outside and, so on and so forth. That is something that does happen on a regular basis. But, yeah, I don't want you to end up in jail either, Single Mama 4, at all. Hold on, let me refresh this. Okay, so the line is 858-299-2504. You want to have a take? Let's talk about it. Your call, hopefully your call's good. If it's not, this is what you hear.
Call. No. You don't like that call. I don't like that call. Not a very good call.
All right. I'll boot you. I'll boot you. She did look fragile. But, I know a lot of, I do know a lot of kids around that age, like when they hit a growth spurt or something, they start to stretch. I don't know. I really do even hate to speculate about the photos because I don't know. But anything. Anything. Let me hit the and I'll check the lines here in a second. But let's go ahead and listen one more time.
They cannot stand YouTube people because they've been making a mockery of this case so bad that we can't even come to terms with even trying to find something.
Well, from people calling TBI and then having them break in our door, nobody knows about this, but they come in here, you know, for the 11th time, kicked our door in, tore our safe off the floor, turned everything upside down for about the 11th time because somebody told them we had summer in the safe. But nobody knows about that.
Yeah. No, you cannot talk about you can't talk about Otis. That's the one thing you can't talk about. That'll get you on the ban list. How many people have the Wells thrown under the bus? Well, let me see here. Let's check in. How many have they? That's a great question. Let me answer it for you. Because I have it.
Man, I'm not 150% of chance of anything doing with this. I don't know. I can't tell you because I don't know. Mm-hmm. I have a lot of suspicion.
Right.
I have a problem with Allie, Jose, Jody Sue, Andy, Donnie. I mean, I could list a whole bunch of people.
That's a lot of suspects. That's a lot of suspects. Surprisingly missing from this list is Candus Wells. Not surprisingly, but under some suspicious circumstance, you know. I just had two calls from it looks like Hawkins County, Tennessee, and they hung up immediately. Interesting. 858-299-2504. Lines are open. Don and Candus, specifically Don. I'm really curious as to what Don has to say about this not being able to look because of YouTubers. I do wonder about that. That is something that I just cannot understand. Well, call back, brother. Where are you? Where'd you go? Let's see. Yeah, well, you know, the line will be open for you. Yeah, I am busted. Don't forget Don's coworker, you and Chris. Oh yeah. I forgot. I've also been accused by Don. That's true. I don't know if it was him or not, but it was from it looked like it was from Hawkins County, like that area code. Yeah. Why look when they know where summer is? But the problem with that is, so basically what we're doing is we're just playing keep away, right? They're just trying to keep their butts out of jail, and they're just, it's going on and on and on, and their best bet is to did Biden and the Pope do it too? That makes sense. Yeah, it was 423. It was 423. I'm sure. I don't know who it was. They hung up twice. Does that surprise anybody? That's kind of what they do. Caller, go ahead. You're on the air.
Hello?
Hello.
Can you hear me better?
I can, yes. How are you?
Good, good. It's a single mom from last night.
Yeah,
I'm sorry about that call.
I wanted to, I wanted you to call back because I didn't get to really talk to you too much but everything sounds great today. How are you?
I'm fine. My granddaughter was telling me today she needs Nana to stop looking for Summer because she doesn't want me back in adult daycare. She was told along the way that jail is adult daycare.
Yeah, it sort of is, and the one thing, I was thinking about that.
I tried to look for Summer, and then you have Lawson on the side who just, I don't know what his problem is. He tries to stop every avenue of finding Summer. You know what I mean?
Why do you think that is?
Well, in my opinion, it's because I think maybe his son might have something to do with it. He's protecting his kid, which I guess every good parent would do that. I don't know.
Right. And your granddaughter told you today that can I ask how old she is?
4.
Yeah.
Her name's Nevaeh.
She obviously needs you. You've been through something that not many have, and you've came out with your freedom, which you wholeheartedly deserve. And while I do not believe that it is illegal for you to search for Summer, the private property aspect of that could be the issue. Okay. And
right.
I do not want you or anybody to break the law because of that. You understand? I understand that it's frustrating and it's terrible. It's not right. It's not fair. But, you know, I don't want you to be in trouble for anything. And especially, you know, you've been through a lot. And I know where your heart is.
I have.
I know where your heart is. Trust me, I struggle with this too. I swear, I really, really do. I struggle with this whole situation. There's been so many times where I just wanted to just wash my hands and say, you know what, this isn't even, why should I care so much? And the answer is, I don't know. I can't help it. Just like you. I know that this weighs heavy. I do. Trust me, I do. And I don't want you to get in trouble for anything, especially because of these scumbags.
A lot of people don't learn from jail, and some people may even think it's a picnic to be in there because, hey, I'm sitting here amongst friends or whatever, But I didn't find, anytime I didn't find it good in there. I was put by myself because I had mental issues, addiction issues. I had to wear a blue band saying I was a threat, or the band let everybody, the guards and all them know I was a threat. So I can't afford to go back.
No, you can't. No, you
I don't want to be in a cell by myself because that works. Law enforcement needs more training in the mental health group. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
Because if they had training, they would know not to stick a mentally ill person by themselves because that works more on their mental illness. But I understand where they come from because they have to be protected, and I guess they have to keep their general population protected. You hear a lot of people saying, stick them in general population, they'll take care of them. Well, they'll take care of them, but at the same time, jails have to protect people. Prisons do not, but jails, I can't explain it, Josh.
I understand. Have you ever, and this is just a suggestion, have you ever thought about just taking a little break from the case? Not consuming it so much?
Yeah, today when my grandbaby brought it up to me, she told me she loved me and she didn't want to see me in a adult daycare. That's kind of funny, but
yeah, I know. No, I understand. It's mentally mentally draining. And
plus her parents.
What's that?
Are in her parents are in adult daycare right now. That's why I have her.
I understand. Okay.
My son is her father, and he's in jail.
Okay, well, they just certainly don't need any more in jail.
I have to be here for her. If I didn't step up, she would have been in a foster home, and I grew up in foster homes. They're not cracked up like, So I'm going to stop looking for somewhere. I don't want to, but I'm good to.
Well, I'm not going to stop covering it.
No. If people go look on my Facebook, they'll see. Summer's right there. She's there almost daily. I'm not going to stop advertising or saying justice for Summer or whatever.
No.
But I think the first step is to get Lawson up out of office. I'm sorry, but not sorry. But Lawson needs to get that man. He's scary. I mean, not scary as in I'm scared of him. No, I mean I've told bigger sheriffs worse than whatever, but I mean he's just scary. Behind those shades is some eyeballs that you just ain't trying to look at. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't think he's going anywhere. I mean, he runs unopposed, and this is his case, whether we like it or not. But here's what we can do is that we can continue to cover this story. It's not going away. And by the way, I don't know what Don and Candus expected. If they thought that everything was going to die down and go away or whatever. It's not going to happen.
That's what they were hoping, that it would die down and go away and people just forget about someone.
No, it's not going to happen.
Well, no. People like me, you, Chris Madonna, Trevor Lee, to mention a few, no, we're not letting that die. No. Summer Moon, Utah Wells deserves to be found.
Yep.
Bottom line.
Yep. I mean, and this is, and this is, I mean, the emotion that you have for Summer. I've felt that overwhelming emotion before. It's difficult, and I even found it strange crying for a child that I've never met.
Exactly.
But the thing is, I think that we all have at one point in our lives met a child like Summer or seen a child like Summer, and that is where it becomes really, really difficult to deal with. Just the circumstances. It's enraging.
Absolutely.
It is. And I am glad that I got to talk to you today because I was thinking about you, and I know your dedication to Summer and finding justice for Summer. I certainly don't want you to be taken away from your family because that won't do anybody else any good. Your family needs you. Your granddaughter needs you. And if somehow you need to turn off the TV for a week, trust me, we'll still be here. I'm not going anywhere. We're going to keep on this case. This case will be here.
Did you ever think it would take this long? I just never think it would take this long.
You know what? I didn't know what to expect. I don't know what to expect. I've followed a lot of cases in my time, and some get solved in a day, and some are 20 years now.
Right.
So I never know what to expect, but knowing who the parents are, it doesn't surprise me.
Isn't her 7th birthday coming up this week, if I'm mistaken? The 4th, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That would be her 7th birthday.
And she was missing at 5. See?
Yeah. Yeah, she did. She did, and she it's not right. I know that.
It's not.
Yeah, Friday is her birthday.
Right.
Well, I am glad that you called, and I feel like that your granddaughter has centered you, and like I said, if you need a break, please take one. If you feel better amongst the groups and discussing this case, there's nothing wrong with discussing this case or sharing her information or passing out flyers or whatever it is that you want to do. The only thing is, the private property, people are not wanting people to look. And unfortunately, there's not a thing that we could do about it except call that out.
Right.
So.
Well, I tell you what, I'll take the break. I have to, because I'm just not going to go back to jail and lose my family, especially my granddaughter. Yeah. I got to be here for her.
Good. I see that now. Yes, you do, and she's what's most important right now.
She is. Just trust me, my heart was in the right place.
Oh, I've never doubted you ever. Your passion for Summer and missing children and people that have been abused is abundantly clear. And that's why, I always look for you in the chat. I'm always happy to see you and talk to you because I know what kind of a person you are. You're a good person and your heart is in the right place.
It is, I promise. And I promise I'll take a break.
Good. Thank you. And thank you so much. And if you need, anything, just, send me an email. You have my email address, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. If you need to talk or something, just send an email and Linda will get it and we'll, do what we can.
Okay. I appreciate it.
All right.
Thank y'all very much.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
As you can see how this case affects so many of us, it's important to be there for each other. Caller, go ahead. You're on the air.
Hey, Josh. This is Marilyn from Missouri.
Hi, Marilyn. How are you?
Hi, good. I was expecting when Don got out of jail that he was going to be extradited back to Utah for those charges from his sisters and other females. What's the update on that?
So the only update that I have on it is that it is sitting with the district attorney. There's been no final decision from what I know, and that it is still a possibility, but I just don't know what the district attorney plans to do. Okay, so it is being looked at still and considered. Nothing has been made official one way or the other. So, that's really all I know about it. And really all I can share, but I honestly, that is all I know. So, look, they went after him. They came to the jail. They talked to him. He said that he started screaming at them, yelling at them.
Oh, wow.
Gave them the whole, 9 yards. How dare you? And blah, 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 blah. And I don't know. But I hope to God that charges will be pressed, because what I've heard it was just absolutely nonsense.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So no charges as of yet.
Thanks for the info.
Yeah, I hope I hope that they get some justice. I really do.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Well, thanks for the update.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, Don, I think what he said was that he freaked out on him. I think Chris said that he was one of the most difficult interviews that they've had, something like that, I think. But yeah, so that right there is about all I know. Look. Let me see. I doubt that he screamed at him. Hold on. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. He said that he screamed at him, and I from what I understand, his demeanor or whatever it is you want to call it. And by the way, I don't know whose mattress that is, but it's disgusting. But yeah, he would absolutely yell at them. He would absolutely yell at them. Don yell at anybody, at any time, anywhere. Anybody can get that smoke. Anybody can get that venom. They call him the can man because anybody can get it. Go ahead. You're on the air.
Oh, hey, Josh.
Hi.
Hi, Josh. My name's Annie. I'm calling from Detroit, Michigan.
Yeah.
I spoke with you before.
Yes, ma'am. How
are you?
I'm good.
Oh, good. It's super cold here in Michigan. Super cold.
Yeah, it was 29 degrees here last night, but it was a little chilly, but not as cold as where you are.
Oh, yeah? I know. So I've been listening to your show. I just want to, can I go off topic a little?
Sure.
Okay, so the West trial is starting this week.
Yes.
Jacqueline and Trezell.
Yep.
And I've been looking for information on it.
Yeah.
And I want to know, is it going to be on Court TV?
Don't think
Is
so.
somebody going to be broadcasting it?
I believe it will be covered, by the local news stations. I don't know if Court TV has it on the docket. I seriously hope that they do.
I hope so.
I've been tracking that case. I came to YouTube after the peak of that case. But it was one that really obviously caught my attention, and I have covered it since. Along trials, they love to push back, and I think what they were asking is if the court or if the lawyers were ready. That was they were waiting for.
Yeah, the readiness.
Yeah, and I think they said
it
yes,
was a readiness hearing. Yeah, and scheduling with that courtroom and all of that. But I got pushed back before, and I'm like, I just really want to know. I just really want to know what went on.
Well, what I think that you could probably expect from that case is some very shocking testimony from one of their biological children. Now, in the affidavit, it insinuates that possibly they were involved or that they witnessed it or something extremely foul. Yes.
Yeah. Monstrous.
So I don't think that they would televise that, but maybe. I
don't know. I just been waiting a long time. They still haven't found their remains, And I thought you'd be so close to Bakersfield, maybe you'd be getting more information.
Yeah.
Maybe figure out there. I don't know.
Yeah, basically, it's it's headed to trial. It's supposed to start in a couple days, isn't it?
Yeah.
And
go to court today.
And I think that they have. I mean, they're going to present evidence according to the district attorney. They're going to present evidence that they have proof that the boys are deceased, but they don't have their bodies, and that would insinuate to me that there's eyewitness testimony and or blood DNA recovered. I truly pray that these two are cooked, because I can't stand them. That one interview that they gave drove me nuts. And the fact of the matter is, they were reportedly missing 3 months before they were ever actually reported missing.
Yeah, I know. And see, here's the thing. There was neighbors reported a fire in Trezell's parents' backyard. They were burning some. And I always was wondering, well, what's that all about,
It's really, as graphic as this is, and a warning for people. It is extremely difficult to burn bodies in a fire pit.
It is.
Yeah,
it is.
That's why, crematoriums have it obviously down. But there was a case it was the case of Lee Redarde and Savannah Gold, if I recall, back a few years back. And that's what he tried to do to her body, and it didn't work. And So he ended up throwing her into a body of water after he tried to incinerate her body.
Right.
And but it's much more difficult than people would imagine. That's why in house fires, people don't. I mean, they burn up, but there's still tons of human remains, bones, and to burn through bones, it's really, really difficult to do. Thank God.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I just hope they get what they deserve, and I wish I could see it. I want to see it. I've been obsessed with this case.
Oh, I'll be covering it. Trust me.
And if you hear anything, yeah,
absolutely, I'll be covering it.
Out there.
I think just the other day I gave an update saying that this is going to trial. But yeah, I just talked a little bit about it. I've been tracking it, and I will cover that case. Absolutely, no question about it. I
don't see anybody talking about it, but there's a big interest out there.
I was just talking I was talking to Linda today about them. Off the air.
Linda from Meet the Crime?
What's that?
Linda, who's Linda? A friend of yours?
No, it's my girlfriend, my fiance.
I'm sorry, I didn't know, John.
That's
Sorry.
okay. No, that's okay.
No, great relations.
No, thank you.
Okay, so you were talking to her? You were talking to your...
Yeah, we were just talking about it today. I was just talking about how cute they are and how sad that case was, and that's another case that has stuck with me as well.
Yeah,
and
sucks. Me too. Me too. Okay, so real quick, we'll wrap it up with you. Listen, I was sick over Christmas. I had a sinus infection that led to my ears, and I was really sick. You got to get on some antibiotics. Call your doctor, please.
Yeah, I'm gonna call tomorrow and see what I can do.
Yeah, because they can spread your ears and you get dizzy spells. So yeah, you need to nip that in the bud there.
Yeah, you're right. I definitely, if it's, it's been a few days now, so I think that I will call tomorrow. See if I can get some antibiotics.
Yeah, you should.
But I am feeling good. I'm feeling fine. I just, in the morning, it's just really, until you get up and start moving around and stuff.
Yeah.
It's the worst. But yes, no, I don't want a sinus infection. I probably have one, but I'll get it taken care of.
Oh, yeah. We want you to take care of yourself.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Yeah. Yeah. They're no fun.
Oh, thanks, Josh. It's been a pleasure.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
Yeah. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Talk soon. Bye-bye. Caller, go ahead. You're on the air.
Hey, Josh. It's Suzanne from California.
Suzanne from California. How are you?
I'm fine. I haven't talked to you in a little bit.
Been a bit.
Huh?
Yeah, it's been a bit.
Yeah. I'm glad you're feeling better.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask you about the summer case.
Yes.
Now, what about the boys? Are they getting ready to charge Don and Candy with neglect?
I would. So, I think they call it prosecutorial discretion. So basically, when CPS writes the report and hands it over to the police or the district attorney, it's on them to bring charges. Now, if you remember, the district attorney said that, and I think he was more talking about Summer in particular, but that there are, I don't exactly remember, but elements of crimes, or there are indications of crimes. And so I mean, they have to be on the radar. But I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea why they haven't yet.
It's the same with his sister. I thought they were waiting until he got out of jail and that they were going to press charges on him, him and Candy for the kids, and then how does that work with the kids testifying against, if they know anything? Do they have to be a certain age? And they have to be willing to testify against them in regards to what happened with Summer?
So I don't think that they have to be a certain age, and I think that they have to be properly prepped and kind of guided along. It's very, very touchy with kids, that are like 5 and 6 years old. But they definitely will talk to them. And I saw something the other day. A little boy testified against his mom in court, said that he saw his mother strangle his sister. He didn't know that she was actually in the courtroom. And he looked up and he saw her and he said, "Well, do you recognize her?" And he looked up and he said, "Yeah, that's my mom." And, yeah, it was an awful, awful thing to do.
Wow.
But yes, I knew a 9-year-old. Well, not personally, but I knew a 9-year-old that took the stand against his father, who killed his mother and sister and tried to kill him too, but he survived. And the craziest part about that is the father was representing himself. So he got to cross-examine the child.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Yep. So.
Yeah.
I think the boys are old enough to testify. Yeah, I do. I absolutely do. And I'm sure that they know more.
Oh, they have to, even if it's not that particular day, which I know they probably know about that day, but they have to have more knowledge of what life was like on Ben Hill Road.
Yeah, and it doesn't seem like it was a... Yeah, some people are saying 12. I don't. Maybe that's how old it is in that state. They can also play like it's not considered an interrogation, but they can record and play it for the jury if the judge allows it. The judge can block stuff like that if he thinks that it's not. If it's not.
Well, I just keep thinking, everybody's running into dead ends, and it might take years for this to come to fruition. But I keep thinking about the kids, the boys. That might be the avenue that the courts can take. And I know they don't want to do that unless they absolutely have to. But
right.
I just thought I'd mention them.
Oh, trust me, if those children have information, they will be asked to testify. Now, I don't know the stipulations if they have to or not, or if they can give a written statement or whatever. There's got to be options. And maybe that's something that I could look into and, see what those options are. But I'll tell you this, when my sister was questioned by the police a couple times when she was just a 5-6-year-old little girl. At that time, they were asking her if she had ever been, sexually assaulted by my father, and they, for some reason, questioned her in front of him. I have no idea why. This is back in 1988 or whatever, and she was very young.
Wow, that doesn't seem right.
No, it's one of the stupidest things I'd ever heard. But yeah, right in front of them, and they asked me some stuff too, but I barely remembered. I mean, I have the transcripts of it, and I don't think, I didn't give them any, breaking information, but yeah, that's what happened.
Well, I know each state is different, and it should be in the protection of the kids all the way. But it would be interesting to find out if they. Sure be nice to be a fly on the wall somewhere to find out what they're really up to, because it seems like, I don't know, it just seems like there's something in the air that something's about ready to happen. And here's Candus and Don thinking that they got away with it. They didn't get away with it. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah, one of the things that that McDonough said that I have held on to is, even as this drags along and takes time and so on and so forth, the fact of the matter is, it's not going away. It is not going to go away. Everything else that they've done legally or illegally has gone away. This isn't going to go away.
No.
We won't let it.
And they think it is.
There's no statute of limitation, nothing.
No.
So,
yeah, there will be answers.
Yes, and it's just not going away.
Well, that's a good thing. Well, I appreciate your show.
Thank you,
Josh.
I appreciate that.
Okay, we'll talk to you again sometime.
All right, we'll talk again. Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.
Yeah, well, unless this is a good question. Whatever happened, let me hear. Whatever happened to Candus is Candus and Don live together. So Candus and Don are living in that house together, and so on and so forth. But I don't know where Candus is. I have no idea. I have no idea. She took off right after Summer went missing, and that is a fact. Dawn did as well, which I just found like insane. But is what it is. But remember, Candus had some sort of from what I understand, she had some sort of prior engagement. I mean, it's just the stupidest thing I ever heard. Caller, go ahead. You're on the air.
Hey, Josh. This is Bipolar Bear again.
How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good.
Good. Hey, I wanted to clarify something from when I called last night. So this is it's off the subject of Summer, but I kind of feel like I need to step back from this for just a second. But I was talking about, the addiction, people who are, addicted and how they lie and how
I feel about Don and Candus. It just seems like everything that comes out of their mouths is a lie. But I didn't want, I thought about it afterwards that it came across in a bad way that could be really offensive because, I do work, in a drug rehab. My ex-husband was an addict, and we're all a product of our environment, And so I didn't want anybody to think that I have any feelings about, any negative feelings about anybody who struggles with any addictions or anything like that. Every day. The one thing that I can say about a lot of these people that I see on my job that I meet with, some of these people have lost their kids and they are in a rehab and they are fighting to get well and to get their kids back. And this is where I get so angry with, Don and Candus, is that they are staying in this rut and they don't care. And that makes me really angry. So I think what I said kind of came across wrong. And so I felt really bad about that.
Well, let me just respond to you really fast. I appreciate you calling. I remember the conversation, and I didn't think that you said one thing that was offensive. And the reason is we're not painting all addicts with the same brush. There are people, good-hearted human beings. I know many that have struggled with addiction, all kinds of addictions, all kinds. And they, it's just something, and it is a sadness in my life when people struggle with things like that. Now, for Don and Candus, they've shown nothing but addiction and lies. They are the quintessential drug addict liars. And there's nothing wrong with saying that. To be clear, I'm not here to talk about people there are so many people that are watching this show right now that have had addiction issues or do have addiction issues, and that they are working on them. These are lifelong fights and struggles. And there is no judgment here. One of the things is, look, I've never had an addiction problem, so it's hard for me to speak on addiction. The only thing that I really truly know about addiction is that I've witnessed it. I have family members who are good people that it has happened to. And some of them are still in active addiction, and it breaks my heart. But they're not lying about where their kids are. They're not lying about looking for their kids. Their kids aren't missing. So while I understand exactly what you're saying, you said nothing wrong. Not all addicts are created equal, just like not all people have, we all have our different issues. And Don and Candus, like you said, I agree with you are a product of your environment to a certain degree. I agree with that. But I tell you what.
True. But there's a point where
adults.
You have to. Exactly. And there's a point where, I grew up in a I can't say that, I can't imagine what you went through. Okay. And I love the fact that you.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Sorry.
I can't imagine, I just can't imagine. And I appreciate the fact, and I think all of us do, appreciate the fact that you talk about it and you just put it out there and you wear your heart on your sleeve and you're just human about it. You don't make it less than it is. You don't make it more than it is. You're just who you are. And I think we all appreciate that. We can, listen to it. And I think this is what's really neat about the chat is that it's almost like a group therapy. And I love that. And we all appreciate you for that. And we can see where, like, the things that you talk about that have happened in your life, it's just amazing to see, look where you are, and you're this awesome person. So I know we are a product of our environment, but you get to a point where you have to break that. If you come from a terrible environment, I did, and you get to the point where you have to say, okay, I'm not going to treat my child the way I was treated. My child is going to have a better life than I did. And it's really, and I think it makes everybody so angry to see that Don and Candus can just, it's like they're drunk and high all the time, and they blame everybody else for their problems and for everything that goes wrong. And they never stepped up to try to better themselves and better their children's lives, and outright lie about the one who's missing, that everybody cares about except them.
Well, I appreciate your kind words, and one of the things that I have always wanted to bring to this channel and this show is, yes, I've had a rough go at life as a young boy. Not saying that life is perfect now, and I'm certainly not perfect, and learned along the way through mistakes and trial by fire, things like that. But when I had kids, which, by the way, I had kids far too young. I should have never had kids at the age that I did, but there was nothing I could do about that after the fact. Okay, nothing was going to change any of that. I was way too young. I advocated for years, telling my children, do not do this, even though we live like a frat house and have a great time, and they're almost like little brothers in a way. They're my children. And the fact of the matter is, it was a mistake at that age. But it was my responsibility to pick myself up. I went into debt through child support at a young age. I got custody of my children. I paid off all my child support. I did everything that I could to stabilize my family, and it's been the honor of my life. They are my biggest investment, and I have put everything that I have, which may or may not be enough, but I can tell you that it's all I had, and all I have to give is what I've given. But I also don't think that I've done anything different than any other loving parent would and should do. My life is second to theirs. Just like Summer's life should have been second to Don and Candus. And it's not.
Right.
And they don't have it in them to put her first. Candace just said tonight, or not tonight, but you heard the recording. She can't even come to terms with it because of the mess that YouTube has made. Well, I would like to. Don't put that at my feet, Candace Wells. It's the mess that you made.
Right. And, I think a lot of that, and in my brain, I think some of this goes back to addiction and how she was raised.
No question about it. No question about it.
And, she is stuck in that because, like I said, I see men and I see women in the rehab where I work. And some of them, when they come in, they're so determined. I want to get my kids back. DCS, get my kids. All I want is to get my kids back. And within 2 days of going through a detox, they're gone.
Yep.
Because they can't do it.
Yeah.
And because it's got a hold on of them, and they just can't do it. They're not ready. And unfortunately, their kids are the ones that are paying the price. But, you can't force them. And then when they come back to try again, you can't say, well, you screwed up the last time.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, with these people that are coming in, at least they're coming in and they have in their mind and in their heart what they want to do. And at least they're putting forth an effort. Whether they fail or not, they're trying. And Don and Candus are not. And I think that's why everybody, that's part of the frustration is that you don't even see them trying to put the kids first. And everybody else, I'm sure you have, I have, and probably everybody in the chat, we put our kids first. And we've all done our best by our kids. Our kids are our legacy. It's what we have. When we're gone, our kids are going to be a part of us that carries on. And so, and now they don't have that. And you would think that it resonates with me. It's sad that it doesn't for them, for people like Don.
They are one of a kind, I'll tell you that, and they're birds of a feather.
They are. You want to say, that they are one of a kind, but you know what? They're not, and that's sad.
Nah, but they're one of the more cohesive units of scumbagginess. But there are many out there. Yes, you're completely right. I've never came across two people like them though. Never.
They're sick of thieves. So
interesting. They're interesting folks, and not like in a great way, but they're very, very interesting.
Yeah, they are. But anyway, I just wanted to say, when I said that last night, I felt horrible after I got off the phone, and and I appreciate that, you wear your heart on your sleeve, and and then somebody said something, that was, disagreeable, And I understand how, you know, you wear your heart on your sleeve, and sometimes you have to rip it off your sleeve and hurl it at them. And that's fine. I get it. So, you know, and so you did what you did. But after I got the phone, I felt horrible. And I thought, I hope nobody thinks that, you know, I'm just, you know, this horrible person who has this, you know, hatred toward people who are, you know, in addiction, because that is the farthest from the truth.
Right.
And I wouldn't want anybody to ever think that, because I know it's a struggle, and my heart and my prayers are with anybody who's going through it. Anybody has been through it, and I know it's a lifelong struggle.
Well, I certainly
And I'm sorry.
didn't take it that way, but I do appreciate you calling and clarifying. And, you know, once again, we had a great discussion, like we always do when you call.
Yeah. And even though, you know, I kept you on the phone for too long, and I have to be in, you know, I have to get up for work in like 4 hours.
Okay. Oh,
but I try to stay up. Yeah, I try to stay up and listen to you anyway.
Well, I appreciate
if
that.
if I'm not listening, if I'm not watching you, I'm watching Chris. So, you know, a lot of the things that you guys talk about when it comes to Don and Candus, I don't really know anything about it, because I'm like, where did they hear this? Where did they see this? Because I don't know.
Right.
Because I don't watch anything else. So I'm kind of out of the loop.
Well, you just leave it up to me, and I'll stay in the loop as much as I possibly can. I always have my eye on it, and it's one of the. It's like I said, it's a case that's near and dear.
Well, I appreciate it, and I know that Summer's birthday's coming up, and I thought, wouldn't it be really cool if, you know, instead of, you know, being so, you know, everything is so negative and so sad, and I know that it's, you know, it's really gut-wrenching, and it's heartbreaking that Summer has not been found. But I thought, you know, wouldn't it be great just to celebrate her some way instead? And I don't know how to do that.
Yeah, you know, I'm going to let you go, and I'm going to answer that on the other end so you can get some sleep. But I want to answer that question because I do think that it is important. So,
yeah, and you know that I'll let you answer that on the other end, but I'm going to hear it because I'm wide awake.
I'm going to answer that directly.
So, but I will let you go, and I appreciate you hearing me out.
No problem. Thank you so much for calling.
All right. Thanks, Josh.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
So this whole way to celebrate, you know, I've thought about this before, and we had this happen. You know, Summer has had a birthday since she's went missing. And to me, it remains the same. While the child, Summer, should be honored and remembered, there's not, to me, a birthday without her is meaningless. It's pointless. It's disingenuous. I would only want to celebrate if she was able to do it as well. And there's just nothing to celebrate, in my opinion. In my opinion, the longer it goes on, the worse it is. And I can't celebrate that. I can't pretend that her parents are doing the right thing. By what we're doing here right now and talking about Summer and her case, we are remembering her and keeping her name out there. And that's all we can do. You know, like the vigils and things like that. All that stuff is beautiful. And it is very good to do. You know, there are things that can be done. It's I am just not gonna celebrate anything. And I'm not saying, and by the way, and don't take this the wrong way, I'm not insinuating that you are, but some other people have like had her, you know, they did a birthday party. It was just like, what, I don't know, man. I just wouldn't do that. I just wouldn't want to do it. I just wouldn't want to do it. Somebody just hung up. It's all right. I just wouldn't do it. And that's just me. That has nothing. The real Rockin' Robin, in my opinion, very disingenuous for the Wells to do anything for Summer's birthday, as neither could remember Summer's age. I remember that. Yeah. Yeah. Girl Friday says, I cannot look at Chase from Paw Patrol or a swing without thinking of her. Yep. I don't want to miss this super chat. Sally, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Appreciate that very much. Thank you. Let's see. Well, let's say we do it again tomorrow. I'll have something else for you.
She tends to, when she gets drunk and high at the same time.
Yep.
She tends to think that she loses the kids, but they're out front in the yard. That's what I was thinking.
Got it.
They cannot stand YouTube people because they've been making a mockery of this case so bad that we can't even come to terms with even trying to find something.
Well, from people calling TBI and then having them break in our door, nobody knows about this, but they come in here, you know, for the 11th time, kicked our door in, tore our safe off the floor, turned everything upside down for about the 11th time because somebody told them we had Summer in the safe, but nobody knows about that. I don't know, Candus had to leave here because things were getting so bad, and I was in jail. They come to the jail talking to me, and said they had a search warrant asking me, and then they was asking me if I had any guns and all this and that stuff.
There is no investigation. This boy has.
There is not, really? It is to me.
Don't say any F's and stuff.
But I have to put her on the side and worry about
I'm gonna
the
do
boys.
what I gotta do for me and my boys and my kids.
Don't say any F's and stuff.
There is no investigation. This boy has.
It's not, really? It is to me. Right. Idiot.
I've done my best. It's hard, that's real tough.
But I have to put her on the side and worry about the boys.
I'm gonna do what I gotta do for me and my boys and my kids.
Don't say any F's and stuff.
Live from the NBD Production Studios, you're in the lab with your host, Joshua Diaz.
There is no investigation. This boy has.
It's not, really? It is to me.
But I have to put her on the side and worry about the boys. But I have to.
There is no investigation.
Don't say any F's and stuff.
But I have to put her. But I have to put her on the side and worry about the boys.